I can't believe it. We're already in April, which means a quarter of the year has already gone. And that means that at this point, most people that have set goals for the year, that have tried creating new habits, have fallen off track, they've given up, they've quit, they failed, and they're back to where they started. So if that sounds like you, don't worry, you're not alone. Hey everyone, my name's Paul Wadsworth, and this channel is all about helping you live with greater health, happiness, and freedom. And in this video, I'm going to go over 3 reasons why you still slip back into old habits. Now, if you are struggling and you're slipping back into old patterns, the chances are that you lack clarity and meaning around what you're doing. You see, oftentimes people have picked out of the thin air something that they think they want to do, or someone else is projecting onto them what they believe they should have, and we haven't spent the time to truly get a deeper meaning of why we're doing it. But here's the problem. If you randomly pick something out of thin air, or take an idea from someone else, or just come up with an idea in the moment that you think would be a good goal and a habit to change your life, but you haven't done the work, you haven't gone deep enough, and you haven't sought the clarity around why you truly want to do it, it's going to be difficult to maintain that habit, and you're easily going to slip back into the old patterns. Now, we know that humans generally take action for one of 2 reasons: to seek pleasure or to avoid pain. Now, in terms of setting a goal and finding meaning in it, a really powerful approach is to look at the consequences of not taking the action. Let's say, for example, your goal is to lose 30 pounds and you just set on your way, you start incorporating all these new habits, you start exercising, eating better, etc., etc. Let's look at why are you setting those goals in the first place? What does losing 30 pounds mean to you? And what are the consequences of not losing 30 pounds? Now, with the bigger goal to drop 30 pounds, that's obviously going to consist of lots of smaller steps along the way and different habits that are going to build up to that. So for in this instance, we're going to use one example, which is the exercise. Let's say you've decided that part of your journey towards losing 30 pounds is to exercise 3 or 4 times a week. Now, for whatever reason, you've missed a workout here and there, and then over a few weeks, you've gradually tapered it down, and then one day you wake up and realize you haven't exercised in like 3 weeks. So you want to ask yourself, what are the consequences of not exercising long term? So the longer this goes on, maybe you will say you will have less energy, you're going to become lazier, you're going to feel more tired, you're going to want to do less things in your life. You might start getting pain because you're not moving as much. You might start getting depressed and feel down about it. You might start saying no to social situations. You might stop being able to go and seek opportunities. You're going to feel less confident. Maybe it's going to lead to some kind of disease. Maybe there's family members that have passed away from having heart conditions or something like that. So the point of this is to get really deep, find the deepest level of why, the pain, what's the possibility, the consequences that might go wrong. So you want to do this for pain and pleasure. Find the things that are going to pull you towards it, and the reasons of why you must take action, the consequences of what might go wrong if you don't. Do this with as many reasons and things as possible so that you can find true clarity and true meaning that's going to help you maintain those new habits and become the person you want to be. And I know that can feel a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry, because in a previous video, I shared a strategy, a system in place to help you take your big vision, your big goal in the future, and break it down, reverse engineer it into micro chunks so that actually makes it possible for you to do. So I'll leave a link where you can watch that video if you haven't seen it already. I highly recommend checking it out. Now, the second reason why you might slip back into old habits is because you haven't changed your paradigms and your identity. If you're not sure of what a paradigm is, essentially it is a multitude of habits. It's conditioning, it's programming, however you want to look at it. It's unconscious patterns of the reasons you do the things you do, because you've been doing them for so long that you don't even think about it. Now, these habits and paradigms are deeply rooted from the conditioning, from a young age, from your life experiences. Now, generally, the way to change a paradigm is through either repetition and getting emotionally involved in the idea, which is probably going to be the most common for the majority of people, and which I recommend, which also links onto identity, which we're going to get to in a second. But the other way where you will have a significant change in your life through changing your paradigm is through some kind of traumatic event, or when an authoritative figure such as a doctor may say to you that you have some kind of disease or there's a big health scare. It's when something drastic changes in your life that shakes you up so that it forces you to change. And the other way we change, as I said, is to take repetition of action and get emotionally involved, which links us onto the identity. And the reason you need to change your identity is because the person that you are now, that's gotten to where you are at this point in your life, is not the person that is going to get you to where you want to be. If you have created a new lifestyle change, you've got these new habits, and let's stay on the topic of fitness, and you've never done any of that stuff before, and it feels new to you and it feels foreign and it isn't comfortable, you have to identify as a person who succeeds in that area. You can't see it as being this external thing. It has to become who you are. You see, when I exercise and I work out, I don't see it as this external thing. I don't see it as a chore. It's just who I am. And that's because I've been doing it for so long and I have a high value on it. So ultimately, whatever your goal is, whichever habit you're trying to change, you have to link that to your identity if you truly want to make it last. Your identity is so important because how you see and how you feel about yourself will overpower everything else. You may know people, or maybe you've experienced it yourself, someone who you know, or maybe in your own life, when there's been moments of feeling down, and it doesn't matter what anyone says to you. It could be a compliment. Maybe you've told people how beautiful they look, they're great, all of the things they're doing. But if in their mind, they don't see themselves as that and their self-worth is down, how they truly see themselves is affected, then that's going to affect all the results. So the only thing that truly matters is how you see and feel about yourself. And when you can match that to the new identity of the person you want to become, the habits you want to change, the goals, the results in your life, when it's all aligned, then your life is going to change. Then it's going to be super powerful. And I know it sounds super simple, but another common reason of why you slip back into your old habits is because you don't have a strategy, you don't have support, or you don't have a system to follow. You can't just say, I'm going to try this or I want this goal with no real thought about the whole process involved with it. And part of this becomes overwhelming because maybe you're trying to do too much too soon. Sometimes people will get this new motivation or inspiration and they're like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do all these things, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And very quickly, they're going to slip back into the old habits because they're trying to change too much too soon. We are creatures of habit and we'd like comfort. We don't like changing. So trying to do too much too soon is only going to set you up for failure. And another reason with the strategy and the systems is that there's no accountability involved. You need to have skin in the game, whether that's investing in something, putting money into it, having a coach, someone to keep you accountable, or publicly saying something online of what you're going to achieve. But if you haven't got skin in the game, that voice in your head is always going to be there to talk you back out of it. I don't feel like doing it today. I'm going to wait until Monday. You know, the famous, I'm going to wait until Monday and the Monday never comes around.